Take a deep breath.
Oh my God.
Take your time.
Because I did drink while I was pregnant, and I honestly didn't, well, I knew that something could happen, but I didn't know to a degree what it could do. And now that I do have Jade, and she is the most important thing to me, and now that I'm educated about all this stuff associated with FAS, I feel so guilty because I don't know if my daughter's gonna go to school and have a hard time reading, or she's not gonna be able to communicate socially, not be able to work well with others because something's wrong with her because I did that turn. I honestly don't know what I would do if a few years down the road I find out that for what my bad decisions, my daughter's gonna have to suffer for the rest of her life, and I'm gonna have to help her through it, and she's gonna ask me why this happened to her, and I'm gonna have to tell her because I drank while I was pregnant with you, and I don't want her to hate me for that. And
Fetal alcohol exposure happens when a pregnant woman drinks alcohol. Sometimes it results in permanent damage to the developing fetus, causing what is known as fetal alcohol syndrome, or FAS. In a moment, we'll explore the very serious risks of drinking alcohol while pregnant.
Take the FAS quiz. 1. An apple a day keeps thee away. 2. Look both ways before you cross the. And 3. Never drink during pregnancy. Fetal alcohol syndrome is 100% preventable. If you are pregnant and need help with alcohol or substance abuse, remember, a pregnant woman comes first when seeking treatment. A pregnant woman never drinks alone.
For more information, call the FAS Prevention Project at 505-925-2302.
What is FAS?
Maybe it's when you drink when you're pregnant.
Basically, all I know is that it's caused by drinking during the pregnancy, early on, even later on.
Well, I think what it is the mother has drank or been an alcoholic before the baby's born. And when the baby's born, it shows the symptoms of the addiction as the mother had, and it's usually retarded growth, neural problems, things of that nature. They have a lot of setbacks.
This is a very severe developmental disability and growth restriction disorder characterized by small body size, small brain size, abnormal structure of the brain, and most importantly, very abnormal behaviors and learning processes.
Fetal alcohol syndrome is a birth defect from pregnancy while you're drinking when you're pregnant, right?
What I know is it's about the damage to the fetus while it's in the mother's womb as long as she's drinking alcohol. And basically it causes a lot of birth defects and brain damage to the child.
A newborn with fetal alcohol syndrome is often born prematurely, malformed, and in need of major medical intervention simply to survive. These babies' survival can be so severely compromised that they can spend the first week to 4 months of their lives in the neonatal intensive care unit. The costs of caring for these babies can be astronomical, ranging from tens of thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands, even millions.
We have to understand a few things. First of all, it is an illness, it is a disease that is 100% preventable. And what I mean is that women who are bearing children should not drink alcohol, should not smoke, and should not do drugs.
Melissa Sullivan was born with FAS, fetal alcohol syndrome. Her adoptive mother, Carol, remembers the day 21 years ago that her daughter came into their lives.
Melissa came to our home. She was 14 days old. right out of the William Beaumont neonatal intensive care unit. She had many problems. At the beginning, just trying to feed her was our biggest challenge because she was a very sick baby, couldn't eat well, and we had to feed her with a syringe and a little rubber tube, a few drops at a time around the clock. So that was our first big challenge, and as time went on, there were various challenges. Her dad had to make her a special little device to try to teach her how to crawl, and so physical therapy, speech therapy, all of these therapies were done by our entire family. I think the biggest challenge was as she came into 12, 13, 14, her behavior became really tough because kids made fun of her at school. It was hard to make friends. And because she didn't feel pain like other children, she played roughly. So again, it was hard to make friends. And the friends that were made sometimes led her into areas that really challenged us and made for some bad decisions. And I think this is one of the things common with persons affected by alcohol during the time their mothers are carrying them. They do have problems making good decisions. And it brings a host of all kinds of problems for families, but mostly for them, because they're trying so hard to do what's right, and yet when a situation presents itself, often a bad decision may be made because it's that moment and not any consequence or future effect that is thought about.
Melissa's birth mother drank alcohol while she was pregnant with her. She has come a long way in overcoming many of the challenges of her FAS.
When I was smaller, the doctor said I couldn't walk, or because I had a problem with my spine or something. And they told my mom that I was never going to walk, so.
We have seen a number of children who, if they are given a very high quality home environment and special education that restructures what is expected of them, can do quite well. That is, that they can become marginally well-functioning adults if their activities are limited to things that they're capable of doing.
I have to tell the story about the refrigerator. When we were really trying to help her learn to walk, one day we had been doing all these exercises. One day I found her. She had crawled up on to the counter and got on top of the refrigerator. So that was her first big accomplishment. But she has learned so many things. She's learned to be a wonderful horseback rider. She took care of her own horse. She is a great soccer player. She served on the varsity Socorro Warriors, Lady Warriors team. She was in the marching band, played 2 different instruments, and we're really proud of those things. Probably one of her proudest moments, I think, was at the varsity soccer banquet. She received an award, and it said in it, good things come in small packages. So she was recognized by her coach and her teammates, and that was real special. And now she's learning to be a dog groomer. And I know she's going to be great at that. She's a great artist. She does beautiful beadwork and drawing, and she just has so many talents. And so we're really proud of her.
With all of these accomplishments, Melissa will never be able to read, do simple arithmetic, or live completely on her own. One of the most frightening aspects of fetal alcohol syndrome and fetal alcohol effects is that we really don't know how much or how little alcohol can cause permanent damage to the developing fetus. In a soon-to-be-published study by the UNM Center on Alcoholism, Substance Abuse and Addictions, it was found that when a pregnant alcoholic has 2 to 5 drinks a day, she has a 40% chance of delivering a baby with FAS. When a pregnant woman binge drinks even just twice a week, she also has a 40% chance of delivering a baby with FAS. There are no safe levels of alcohol consumption during pregnancy. A pregnant woman or a woman considering becoming pregnant should not drink any alcohol at all.
When our prevention specialists say that there is no safe level, that is true. We really don't know. Some studies have shown that consistently mothers who average 2 drinks a day will have children who across the board will be slightly less capable behaviorally. Their intelligence might be slightly lower. They may have some developmental delays that the children of non-drinking mothers do not have. So we don't want to be alarmist, but if women do abuse alcohol, then they will have children with some of these defects. If they had 1 or 2 drinks in their past, they shouldn't beat themselves up for the fact that they cause delays. The chance that they cause a delay with 1 or 2 drinks during pregnancy is very remote.
According to the UNM Center study, in New Mexico, 1 out of every 1,000 babies are born with fetal alcohol syndrome. Based on birth records, that's 30 babies a year, and anywhere from 180 to 330 more are born with fetal alcohol effects. If you do the math, that could add up to 210 to 360 children born each year who are damaged because their mothers drank alcohol while they were pregnant. This represents a significant number of children who will never be able to lead a normal life. When a pregnant woman drinks alcohol, it crosses the placenta and gets into the baby's bloodstream.
You are drinking for 2 when you drink during pregnancy. The baby receives all the alcohol that you receive, and alcohol is definitely a teratogen, meaning it causes injury to the developing child.
During the first 3 months, the circulatory and nervous systems develop, along with the major organs, arms, legs, facial features, and sexual features. At the end of the first trimester, the fetus has everything found in a fully grown human being. Any damage done during this critical time is permanent. Throughout the pregnancy, brain development is occurring. Alcohol consumed during pregnancy can literally reduce the total number of brain cells. This affects learning, memory, and behavior control. How serious is this damage?
So the type of brain injury that we see in fetal alcohol syndrome is in 3 main areas. One is in the growth of the brain. The brain is very small. It has a fewer number of cells in it and has more empty space in the cavities of the brain, so the brain is physically smaller. Also, the brain that is present can be malformed. There's a problem in terms of the neurons, which are the thinking part of the brain, migrating to the proper place in the brain where they can do their job of interacting with other neurons and performing complex mental functions.
The brain of an FAS baby is 30% smaller than the brain of a healthy baby because the brain cells were damaged and destroyed. The last trimester is when a healthy fetus grows the most. In the case of fetal alcohol syndrome, growth is very slow, bones may become bent, or joints may become fused, causing severe physical deformities. Often, the child is born prematurely. If it is full term, it will be significantly smaller than a healthy newborn. Children with FAS have unusual facial features. These features generally include small eye openings, narrow forehead, flat midface, a long, sometimes indistinct philtrum. That's the area between the nose and the mouth, and a thin upper lip. These features may not be visible until the child is about 8 months old and often becomes less noticeable as the child matures. FAS results in low birth weight and size. Those affected usually have slow growth throughout childhood, and many never grow to normal size.
So we have deficient size, we have abnormal formation, and then in terms of performance, what we have are a range of attentional, memory, task analysis problems that can really cause a lifelong disability in terms of functioning, in terms of decision making, learning from past experiences, retaining information, and basically keeping a job. Most of the adults with fetal alcohol syndrome are not able to maintain employment.
To review, characteristics and features of FAS are the distinctive facial features, small head, narrow forehead, small eye openings, flat midface, long and or indistinct philtrum, and thin upper lip, smaller height and weight. Impaired immune system. People with FAS have a very hard time with recurring infections. Deformities like cleft palate, cleft lips, abnormal hand creases, fused joints, bent bones, impaired vision, hernias, internal organ damage. Their development milestones are delayed: walking, talking, toilet training, and reading. There are also behavior and